Seattle core market, I mean, there's so much going on in the city of Seattle between jobs, between things like Amazon, whether the Sonics end up here or not, which I heard there's a Hail Mary that they may actually end up here now. Who knows? But no matter what, there's a lot of action in the city of Seattle, which I guess drives a lot of people to want to move into the city. When you talk about the core areas of Seattle, what do you mean?
Downtown, Capitol Hill, Queen Anne, Fremont, even Ballard. Those are pretty much the core neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's funny. When did Ballard become the core of Seattle? It's just
yeah, that's a very good question. But I tell you, it's a neighborhood. It's hot, and it's really considered the core. So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's it used to end at Queen Anne and maybe Magnolia. And anyways, that's a whole other topic. Michael, so when people are trying to buy in these areas that are they're hot. I mean, people are moving to these areas. They really like the core. We talked a little about perception versus reality. The perception is the whole real estate market is hot. What's the reality of like this downtown center?
Oh, it's hot. I mean, it's on fire. The bottom of the market was March of last year, and we've come up like 15, 16, 17% since then. Mm-hmm. And there's multiple offers on everything.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you help people navigate that hot of a market? I mean, it's almost like trying to dodge fire.
Well, I think it's just education. You can tell people that, in the end of 2007, prices fell. Actually, in 2008, prices fell almost 30% and continued down. I think we hit about 38% in condos in that area and about 28% in houses. And if you're up only 15%, you got a ways to go. And, it's just educating people on, what are you willing to pay? What is the house worth? And it's a process, and I think buyers right now are really nervous.
Is there a area that is like just the most on fire of this downtown core area that, I mean, literally is unlike anything else?
You know what? I can tell you that I think all those neighborhoods are really on fire, and it depends on what you're buying. If it's over $700,000, you're probably not as on fire as under. So yeah, that's a big component is price point.
Yeah,
and not necessarily in the neighborhood.
And so how? And you said this has kind of been going on for the course of a year. What should a buyer expect going into these? I mean, is this multiple offer land at this point in time, pretty much everywhere across the board?
I think that it is, and it depends on what's being sold. I mean, not everything that's listed is being sold. But I think, we got 1 month of inventory. 3 months is a balanced market. And until we get back up to those numbers, people are going to expect to be in multiple offers. There's going to be, for every one house, there's going to be at least, 3 buyers, maybe 10. Mm-hmm.
So how do you help people navigate that? I mean, what are some strategies?
So, the strategy I give to people is, it's an education up front. This is the market. You're still not at the top of the market. We're going up. You should be really happy that you can feel good about the fact that it's just going to continue to go up. I really strongly believe that. I own a bunch of properties myself. We're looking for another property now while interest rates are low. If I can buy property in this market, I think I can convince my clients that it's a good time to buy as well. So,
yeah, you're drinking your own Kool-Aid.
That's right. Yep.
So always a key component. Michael Harris joins us with Windermere Real Estate. Michael, so you set people up for success right now. There must be a lot of almost tempering some emotion that goes into buying a home. When somebody gets into something that's going to be, very competitive and they're very passionate about it, I mean, that can cause some friction.
Yeah, I mean, the emotions that people have in the buying process right now is, I know it's excruciating for some people, but that's my job, is to help navigate that. I mean, if you have 15 offers and somebody's willing to pay too much for the house, I just try to tell the buyer that this isn't the house. I mean, eventually this market's gonna taper off the prices. I don't think it's gonna go down. It's just gonna taper off. And so for some people, that might mean, if this is nerve-wracking, that they wait a while. Wait 3 months and see if more inventory comes on. Every week we have more inventory. I mean, it's we get our sheets on Monday that shows us what's coming on the market. For the last 6 months, it was 1 sheet. Well, on Monday it was 3. So I think that now people are getting to a price point where they can sell.
How close are we back to the peak in some of those areas?
Who knows what the answer to that is? I mean, we've been told always that it's 2014. Well, all of the analysis is telling us.
Are we getting close? I mean, 2014, that's in like 6 months. So, I mean, we're getting back to some point where, we're almost recovered. In some of the market sectors, I think you're right. I see that like 1-bedroom condos are selling for almost what they sold in 2008.
2-bedroom condos or not. I'm going to list a property tomorrow. It's going to be $100,000 less than what they bought it for in 07. So it kind of depends what the product is, if it's a house or a condo and the price point.
So you're kind of saying like 2008 is kind of where we're at, not quite 2007.
No. I think that it just depends on what you're buying. But we're getting close. And I think by the middle of next year, we'll be back to where the numbers need to be for the people who bought in 05, 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean, that tends to hit me as that's when you're going to see a lot of the inventory come back because the paper losses kind of go away.
That's right. Well, I mean, if you think about it, this year, last year, I sold 40 houses, and I'll tell you what, 22 of them were distressed properties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This year, I've sold 17, and only 2 of them were distressed properties. What I mean by distressed, short sale or bank owned. So, I mean, I'm looking on the multiple listing service, and most of the properties are real resales. Like people are going to not have to write a check.
Yeah, I mean, that's a major difference for people.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So, Michael, would you say that now is a good time to buy? I mean, if you're out there, is this the time to go buy? I mean, you're buying, so
yeah, I'm buying. It depends. It depends who you are and what you're buying. I think for myself, it's a great time to buy. Interest rates are cheap. I can buy another investment property for 4% interest. I mean, that's crazy. Most of these properties cash flow at 5% cap rates. So for an investor like myself, great. For a buyer buying his first home, it might be too emotional right now. You might wait 3 months and see what happens then. It just depends on who the buyer is and what you're buying.
You said emotional. So are people asked to, I guess, weigh their emotions versus their financial goals sometimes in this?
Sure. Remember, buying a house for everyone isn't just an investment. It's your home.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody wants to be in a home and they want to secure their interest rate and they know how much they can spend, it isn't all about what you're paying for the house.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think people are paying too much right now? You might ask that, right? I think so. Yeah, I think there are some people who are paying too much. Hopefully those aren't my clients. I mean, we have this issue where you get like 20 offers, okay? A house goes 20% over. I mean, I think at that point you have to back up and say, is it worth it?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Unless it's like the perfect house, as you said. I mean, if money's no object and you're just trying to find the perfect house for you and your family, it may not matter.
Yeah, it may not matter, but it also appraisals are an issue.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if you've spoken to this yet, but if you're paying 20% over the asking price, it's kind of likely maybe that the appraisal is not going to come back. And this morning that happened to me. So, I mean, we're $30,000 away from where the appraisal came in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good that those contingencies are part of these contracts because it helps people navigate, what is it really worth. So.
Right. It would seem that a lot of people, you talk about the emotion, all of a sudden, you want this house. It's a good time to buy. You're buying, Michael, and if people's friends are buying and prices are going up and interest rates are low, and so you get into that emotional, like, no, I want that house. And so people start going up, 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 up. And now it sounds like what you're saying is, even if you do that, there may still be some ways to go, to, I guess, cure the buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I don't have any buyers that are buying that after they purchased a property are saying, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have bought it. And that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
So.